welcome back to Realistic Ritz, the ritziness of the internet world. Today I'm going to show you how to do this representation of the human condition. The glamour on this side and then just sick and hurting on this side. And so I hope that you enjoy it. I think this is a cool idea, but I also hope it's something that strikes your fancy. Please keep watching. Okay, so of course we're going to start with primer, and we are going to put this all over the face because even though we are doing different things on the face, no matter what, we want it all to stay put. So we're going to do this just all over. It helps our skin appear more smooth for the side that we will be putting foundation on. Okay, so we're going to put foundation on, but only in this portion, the portion that my hand is covering. So I want a really good coverage, so I'm using two different kinds. I'm using NARS Sheer Glow Foundation and MAC Face and Body, just because I think the colors will work well together. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that all over that area of my face. And if any gets anywhere that we don't want it, we can just take with makeup remover or a makeup or a wipe later and wipe it off. Great, so we have foundation on this portion of the face, which it looks really different, doesn't it? Crazy. Okay, first, and then let's go ahead and jump right into eyes. We want this to be really glamorous. So we are going to use from Too Faced their like Rockstar palette or something. I just thought the colors in there were so fun. This is the Rock and Roll palette from Too Faced, and we are going to first put this gold color all over the lid. It's called Wrap, which I think is kind of funny. We might have to get it wet just so the color shows up really vibrant. But for now, that's all right. So we're going to put this all over the lid. This might have been what I used for my Cleopatra. I think it was. And we're even going into that crease, and that's okay. Next, we're going to go in with Pop from this palette, and it's a purple with kind of gold flecks in it. So I am taking a smaller brush, and I'm going to go on the outer V. Really building up a depth in that outer crease. Blending with this color, continuing to make sure that gold shows through. Their New Wave color, which is kind of a pink, but it's got shimmer, and we're going to use that for our highlight. Under the brow bone. And I kind of use that to blend a little bit. And then in this inner corner. All right, and then let's go in and do some winged liner. Taking our liner and doing what we do. Great. Letting that dry. Peeling our tape off. Loving the wing. You know what we do. Just how we do. I'm going to take a little bit more of that purple. Make sure it's just really deep in this outer V. Now let's go ahead and do concealer. Under the eye for sure. And I think that's it for this side of the face. We really want to make this side look lifted and healthy because the other side is not going to look that way. So we want to create a really intense contrast. Let's go back in and finish the under eye area. So I'm going to take a little bit of wrap and a little bit of pop and go underneath here. Just a little. Focusing on this outer area and mostly with purple. Excuse me, pop. And then in the waterline, we're going to take a Julep gel eye glider in the color Violet Shimmer, and we're going to go in the waterline. And then I went all the way into that inner corner. Great, so I think the eyes are almost done on this side, on my stage right side. Now let's go ahead and just finish the whole face on this side. So I'm gonna take a little card like this. This just came in the palette, and I'm going to hold it along the line that I want to be really defined. So when I do things, powder isn't flicking onto the dark side, literally the dark side. Actually, the side we want to be more dark, not in color, but in theme. Let's do highlighter. So we definitely want highlighter on the tops of the cheekbones. This is to give us kind of a healthy glow that we definitely won't have on the other side. And don't be skimpy with it, kids. Just pile it on. I'm gonna take a little bit and put under here, so I have some shimmer there. Great, and let's go ahead and powder all over the face. We're going to powder in the areas that we want powdered on this side of the face. So this is where a card is gonna come in handy. I'm gonna load up my brush with powder, and then I'm just going to place it in the where I don't want to get stuff on the other side. Great, and let's go ahead and do blush. We want a good, healthy glow for this. So I'm going to use out of the La Belle Carousel Too Faced, I'm going to use Who's Your Poppy. It's a really pretty corally color, but it's got gold flecks in it. And I'm going to be using that cardigan, just to make sure none gets on the other side that we don't want. Creates a pretty harsh line, which is what we want. And then we definitely want to bronze up this side of the face. So I'm using Chocolate Soleil from that same palette and just going to run it in these areas. And I'm also going to use it to contour a little bit, but again, I need that card. So I think that this side is done. We just need some mascara and some lashes. Let's go ahead and do that. Great, so while those are drying, I'm going to get everything ready and set up for the other half of my face. Okay, first I'm gonna start by hollowing out parts of my face. So I'm going to take this contour I usually use for positive contouring, but we're gonna make my cheek look really, really thin, and we're gonna make my eye look sunken. So I'm gonna take some on my finger, and remember, I don't have a base on, so this might be a little bit tougher to blend, but that's okay. So we're going to put this brown in the hollow of our cheek, and we're gonna put a little bit around our eyes. Putting it on our eye in the corner. And I'm using a cool brown so it doesn't look like a healthy tan. It looks like sickness. Putting it under the eye, creating a really sunken look, creating more dark circles than what I kind of already have. And not being afraid to go heavy. Just keep going at it until it looks the way you want it to. I'm gonna put some up here on my temple, make my head look a little sunken in. Just creating sunken features on our face. And then I'm gonna go in with this red that I have on my bruise wheel. And it doesn't have a color on it. You could use a lipstick if you wanted to, or any sort of red anything. And I'm gonna take it on just a little brush, and I'm gonna go in my waterline. I'll blend that out a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit on my eyelid too, on top of that brown. It's gonna make my eye look a little puffy and swollen. Now we're not going for a bruise. That's a different video. If you wanna see how to do a bruise, let me know, and I can recreate that for you. But for this, we wanna just make our eye look swollen and unhealthy, and maybe like we've been crying or something. Put it underneath. We're not doing any liner or mascara or anything on this side. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty bad, I mean. Nice. And then for our lips, because the mask is gonna go across here, our lips will be exposed. I'm gonna take this cream highlight. Basically, it's the color of like concealer or really light foundation. And we're gonna take one of these sponges that we were using the other day and gonna load it up. Now we want something that's only gonna tap on the surface. We don't want something that's gonna get into the crevices. So what we're gonna do is kind of clench our lips like this and go over with this light color. So it just looks really sickly. And be sure to blend it out. Make sure there's not a harsh line. Now this would be the perfect moment if you have like a clear gloss to really rough up your eyebrows. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to use just kind of whatever I can find. I have some petroleum jelly here, so I'm going to use that just as a sort of holding agent. I'm going to put it on my brows, but I'm going to put it on against the grain. How do I look? Definitely showing my husband this one. I don't want it to look like we've just been eating powdered donuts. That's not the look we want. Okay, next I think is to draw the actual mask. And for this part, I'm going to, before I do that, actually, I'm going to powder over what we've put on our face so that it doesn't shift around or crease on us. I want it to look like our skin. So here we go, and under here for sure, but I'm not powdering the whole of my skin because I want it to look natural. If you find that after you powder, it covered up your stuff a little bit, you can go back in with a blush. I'm using a blush or like a bronzer, a brownish bronzer color, because we don't want to put cream on top of powder. That defeats the purpose. So I'm just going to enhance the color here. So I enhanced the red, now I'm going to enhance the brown. So I'm going to go back in actually with the bronzer we used on the other side, but it has a different purpose here. I'm going to go in here in the crease, and then of course underneath. I think that looks ratchet. Make sure there aren't any harsh edges. Okay, so to create the actual mask, I'm going to use my eyeliner because I think that'll show up the darkest. So I want it to be a pretty sharp line though. I might try taping sections of my face. And let's put it across the line where you think you did your foundation. The line between where you did your foundation and where you didn't do your foundation. So let's go ahead and start this line. I might need to lean a little closer to the mirror, but I'll show you the end result. Sweet, that's a pretty sharp line, so let's keep going. I just took the tape off. I'm gonna make a smaller piece for my nose because I think I kind of went at an angle here. Nice, next. Cool, and this last piece is just gonna go straight down to the jaw. This looks pretty good for right now, but the line is clearly different thicknesses, so I want to fix that. Great, okay, so we have our line, but we need to create some depth. So I know I'm going against so many of my words right now. We're going to take white. This is like stark, like clown white. And we're going to use this. So on the other side of where this line is, on this side, we're going to put just white all along that black line. So then we want to just blend this out a little bit. I'm going to take an eyebrow brush. This is not its intended purpose, but I'm going to blend out that edge. Okay, so this is the finished look. I think there's probably a ton I would have done differently, but not that I can think of right now. I think it's just kind of fun. The dimensions and the different things that are it. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this is something you could recreate if you wanted to. As I was thinking about this makeup and wanting to do this makeup, I kind of realized that it was a commentary on the human condition. That like, oh, we all put on this glamorous mask, but underneath we're hurting and we're sick and blah blah blah. So that's not really my intention, but I think that's what it could be. If people ask you what you are for Halloween, you could say the human condition. If you decide to recreate this look, please tag me on Instagram or let me know on the YouTubes. I would love to see how you recreated it. If you have any more Halloween ideas, use hashtag #RitzyHalloween. Also, if you're interested on how I did my hair, I just filmed a hair tutorial video, so check that out. Keep it real, and thanks for joining me. Bye!